When I slept right here.
Army veteran Bill Bruick spent his last night homeless, lying on a tiny patch of dirt behind a Food for Less grocery store in Riverside.
I'd like to hear, though, because, nobody could really see me back here, and there was no way. I think this closes at 5, and the stores close at midnight. So, nobody ever parked back here, so I got lucky.
That night capped 10 years of living in a shopping center for 51-year-old Bruick, who resembles a young Charlton Heston. Depression and alcoholism had hobbled him.
As soon as the liquor store opened, 6 a.m., I'd pass out during the day, but then normally around midnight I'd stop. Even though when I was sick, I'd still force alcohol down me because I'd be shaking real bad.
7 stints of rehab did nothing for Bruick, but one bout of alcohol poisoning and a letter from his daughters in Germany expressing a desire to visit him sobered him up.
I was like, wow, I gotta do something. I don't want him seeing me in this state.
Around the same time, the city of Riverside was in the midst of embracing then-President Obama's push to the country's mayors to stop veteran homelessness.
As a veteran myself, it was easy for me to accept that challenge.
That's Riverside Mayor Rusty Bailey. He recalls when he was in the 9th grade, his church had a soup kitchen on Sunday nights.
I went in there one night, and I'm passing out food, taking a tray, and there's a classmate of mine. And you could see... Sorry. Thank you.
Obviously, a very
it's personal. It's personal.
And getting personal, creating that connection with vets, was the goal of outreach workers when they launched the program.
Well, number one, know their names.
What was your name again?
Justin.
Justin.
Number 2, says Bailey, was bolstering the connection through repeated visits, sometimes as many as 50. Through the project, veterans could get their rent subsidized through VA housing vouchers, but Bailey still had to convince apartment owners to rent to people coming off the streets.
I pounded on the table and said, it's inexcusable to have veterans in our city that don't have homes. Landlords, where are you at? And many of them stepped up.
Once they got a place to live, vets were offered social services from mental health to substance abuse to job training. By the end of 2016, Riverside had housed all 89 of its vets. Bruick was one of the program's early beneficiaries. He went to rehab again at the Loma Linda VA. Today, he lives in a 1-bedroom apartment with his fiancée, and he works at a facility that houses vets until they've been placed in permanent homes.
Steve, you need anything today? Laundry or anything?
You got any paper towels?
No, I haven't got those yet. I gotta pick some up.
Mayor Bailey wants to extend the city's knowledge on housing veterans to housing others. For Riverside, that's nearly 400 people who are chronically homeless. And in March, the city council backed a plan that would place them in housing before offering them social services.
I see what we've done, and I'm proud of that. But I also see what we need to do. And that worries me because it's easy to support veterans. It's hard to support ex-cons or mentally ill individuals or substance abusers.
People who are homeless in Riverside also don't have access to well-financed federal housing vouchers or social services like veterans. But Gordon Walker, who heads San Diego's regional task force on the homeless, is optimistic. He's not involved in the Riverside program, but thinks it could show the way forward for other California cities like Los Angeles, San Diego, and San Francisco.
Those cities are some of the richest in the country. And so money is almost immaterial. It's not, absolutely. Money is important, but it's how that money is committed and how the citizens want their cities to be.
Gordon says success is about more than money.
Once you have the political will, the money tends to appear.
Or, as Bruick puts it, it's about cities having faith in all of their citizens. Bruick has been sober for 5 years now. He still hasn't gotten to see his daughters, but he's hoping for a visit with them and his 5 grandchildren this summer. Amita, Sharma, KPBS News.